Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Time with the Whovians United. Today we have uncovered secret Doctor Who episodes that didn't end up getting made. I'm not alone today, I'm with a special guest, so please introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Elise. I like Doctor Who, I have a YouTube channel, and George is the best member of Time with the Whovians United.
Yes, damn straight. Screw Farron, screw Jack, and definitely screw Corey. I'm the best. Alright, let's get into the video. So we got two secret episodes that didn't end up getting made for Doctor Who. So I think I should go first, if that's okay with you, Elise?
That's fine, yeah.
In 2009, the year of the Doctor Who specials and the release of Henry Selick's Coraline, but not many people know this, but we would have seen a crossover between the two products.
And we should have done.
We should have seen it because, I'm not obsessed with Coraline at all, or Doctor Who. My Discord knows this. So a year and a half before the specials happened, Russell T Davies contacted Neil Gaiman, who is the author of the Coraline book, and later went on to write two Doctor Who episodes, The Doctor's Wife and The Nightmare in Silver. If he would be interested in writing one of the 2009 specials, that would be between Planet of the Dead and Waters of Mars.
Very snazzy indeed.
After Davies acquired to get Dreamland greenlit and finding the whole concept of Coraline rather fascinating, he thought it would be a marvellous idea of crossing the two things together. That's
very clever of Russell T Davies, and I think it was... No, actually I can't say that because Neil Gaiman hadn't written the others yet, had he? Never mind. Ignore me, sorry.
However, David Tennant wasn't contracted for it, and besides, he was too busy filming the other Doctor Who specials to do it. So instead, Davies pitched to Neil Gaiman the episode should be a Doctor-like episode, but they can bring back Elton Pope as the lead of the episode, especially after getting cut from the Stolen Earth and Journey's End episode.
Hang on, what? Wait, why? How on earth would he fit into Stolen Earth Journey's End? And why would they want him back?
It makes perfect sense why he was there, but they just cut him out. They cut loads of ideas from that two-parter, and I'm actually a bit disappointed because I would have loved to see his character return.
Go on. I want to know how he fits into the Coraline story. Or the Neil Gaiman story.
But to Davies' surprise, Neil Gaiman agreed to write the story that later got pulled. Yet, here's what I gathered from it. This episode was titled Elton, a reference to the film Coraline by using the main character's name for the title. Isn't that snazzy?
That's not snazzy though, because we've got Matilda. That's the first thing I can think of that has the main character's name in the title, but I'm sure there's plenty more. Rose, the episode, Rose. There's plenty more. My head is just turned off now. I can't think of any more.
This will be great because Elton's a great name for a great character.
Well, there's not many Eltons, are there, aside from the obvious?
I like that. I like that reference.
So what was actually meant to happen in the Coraline Elton episode? What did Neil Gaiman write?
Elton Pope moved into the Pink Palace after receiving a better paid job to move out from his apartment in London with Ursula Blake so they can have a bit more of a love life.
Oh no, don't say that! Bit more roomy for the... They don't really need like a... They could have a studio apartment. They only really need enough space for one. They can just stick Ursula on the... Ursula, that's it. Stick her on the wall like a bit of a wall decoration, can't they? They don't really... She doesn't need a spare bedroom, does she? I mean, I'm going to assume that they probably weren't in two different bedrooms, but she doesn't take up much room. That's what I'm saying. She could be quite compact.
Elton Pope, if they get into an argument, he could just throw her into the cupboard.
Just shut her in the cupboard. Or he could just... No, because he can actually like... Oh my god, he could just stick her in the fridge or something. Or like in the... He could burn her alive in the oven. That's quite morbid. Sorry, moving swiftly on.
However, Davies and Gaiman agreed to make Elton feel responsible and depressed for the death of Linda, as he and Ursula Blake are the only ones who knew about this, so they had to run away unless they get questioned about their disappearance.
It's getting quite dark already, oh my god.
Later on, Elton finds a doll on the doorstep that looks exactly like him, except it has buttons for eyes. Automatically, he gets curious about the doll, like he was with the Doctor in Love and Monsters. But eventually, he finds a passageway into the other world, where he meets his dead mother and Ursula, who actually has her body.
Wait, what? Is this like to tempt him in? Because he's like, oh, we can have more of a love life.
We can have more of a love life. So he's like, I'm staying here. Screw Ursula Blake with just a head. At first he's freaked out, especially because his mother died in front of him. So how is she there? Her other mother explains that everybody has another mother, like she did with Coraline in the film. Yet Elton is skeptical about the whole thing until he meets the whole of Linda, and his guilt just sinks away. Like, they're there, they're alive, just with buttons in their eyes.
They probably can't read the sheet music for ELO very well then, if they've got buttons instead of eyes.
And that's the thing. Yeah, Elton is still skeptical about it, but the thing that breaks all that, and obviously he's going to say yes to stay there forever, is that his favourite band, ELO, entertained him with his favourite song, Mr. Blue Sky. So he was just dancing, and obviously the whole Linda was dancing and singing, and oh, it was amazing.
Oh my god.
But after, the other mother invites Elton to stay in the other world forever, on one condition. Can you guess what?
He has to give up the pavement.
No, on one condition, if the other mother can sew buttons into his eyeballs.
Oh, I don't like that. That makes my eyes feel funny.
Yeah, that's how Coraline reacted. With Russell T Davies, we're never going to meet this character again, so let's just shove him into a bin. So, nonetheless...
Wait, he did it?
So he agreed for them to sew buttons into his eyes, and he's there forever, and obviously the other mother eats up his soul, and he's stuck there forever.
That's what Russell T Davies and Neil Gaiman planned.
So this would have been a pretty good idea, I think, but it got pulled. I don't know why it got pulled.
I think it got pulled because it's terrifyingly morbid, because there's no happy ending, and he literally gets buttons sewn into his eyes, which I don't know like how PG-13 that is. Personally, I would not like buttons being sewn into my eyes. I'm gonna have to politely decline on that one, but maybe it'd be fun, I don't know. So I found one from a little bit earlier. I'm pretty sure it was an idea around the Martha period, around season 3, and I think it was offered instead of the Dalek in Manhattan, that two-parter, because it's set in New York and old-timey New York. So I think it was sort of then, but it got pulled in return for that one. But this one was actually inspired by the musical Little Shop of Horrors. So how do you feel about musicals, George? Do you like them? Do you think they have a place in Doctor Who?
I think Doctor Who's like a big creative show. I think they should do a musical episode. I think they should do... There's so many ideas that they can do for Doctor Who. So yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Well, unfortunately, this episode wasn't going to be musical in style. The Doctor wasn't going to stand there and sing a song about something or other. They did actually, I think they were talking about having the music from the original Broadway show inspire the Murray Gold soundtrack to the episode, which I think is a really good way of incorporating them. So it was meant to have this kind of like 1960s rock and roll sort of doo-wop style, which is kind of the style of the musical. So they were like, oh, we can incorporate this into the soundtrack of the episode, which I think is a really cool way of bringing that in. I think it was meant to be set around Little Shop of Horrors. It doesn't take the exact storyline, but what I could gather, obviously, from the limited resources available when I was looking into this, is that it was the Doctor and Companion, which we presume would have been Ten and Martha, were hopping around the storyline. They weren't there for any major events, so they couldn't affect the storyline, but they were sort of witnessing it. the concept of Little Shop of Horrors is a plant that eats people, and the plant comes from outer space. It's very good. Yeah, it's very good. So the Doctor and Martha are trying to track down this energy signal, and they're bouncing around in the TARDIS, and they can't quite work out what it is, but they can track it to 1960s New York City, and that's all they've got. They know it's on Earth in New York City in sometime around 1960. I'm pretty sure it's set in 1960. I should probably double check that, but it's probably set in 1960. It's fine.
I mean, you only have like a few like details on the episode, so it's not like completely concrete on what would happen.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Obviously, no, of course, because we don't know much at all. So the story kind of follows the Doctor and Martha as they are being these like old-timey detective-style characters, almost from something like Secret Seven. You know, the stereotypes of holding up a newspaper with the little eye holes there so they could see through. Not with buttons on the eye holes, just with cling through so they could see.
But why couldn't they do that?
No buttons, no buttons. Buttons were cut from this episode. Every button they had on a piece of clothing, they cut them off because they were like, you know what, no buttons. We don't like buttons. We're not having buttons in this episode. Just being clear, just being clear. So the aesthetic is all very like downtown New York City, and the Doctor and Martha keep just missing these events that happen. So in the original Broadway musical and the movie musical, obviously, the main character in the musical is a man called Seymour, and he works at this flower shop, and he gets this plant, this man-eating plant, because everyone's really attracted to it. Not in a weird way, that sounded a bit odd, just in the fact that it brings in loads of customers to this shop. And there's a woman that he works with in the shop called Audrey, and he is basically madly in love with this girl called Audrey. But she has a boyfriend. When the plant, because first of all, it keeps dying. Well, it doesn't keep dying. That was a very word. You should probably cut that bit out. The plant refuses to grow. So the way that Seymour gets it to grow is actually by accident at the start. He pricks his finger by mistake, and he realizes that the plant grows with every drop of blood that he gives it, until it starts to speak, and it basically tells him that it can give him whatever he wants as long as he feeds it human flesh. So Seymour decides, and this is still in the movie, but obviously it would have, I would assume, happen in the episode as well. He decides that he's going to feed this sadist, abusive boyfriend to the plant, because if he does that, then obviously he can run away with Audrey, because she will no longer be trapped by this horrid man, and the plant can give him whatever it wants. Obviously, so that's basically the perfect solution, is it? The Doctor and Martha will be just missing every moment. So they hear this this maniac laughing in the dentist, and they realise that something's wrong, but then Martha runs in, and as she runs in, the room is empty because Seymour has just then taken the dentist to feed him to the plant. So they keep missing them at all these points in the show, and they don't affect its original plot.
Like Partners in Crime?
Yes, almost like that, because they keep almost getting somewhere, but then they just miss it, But in this episode, I have heard that when he spat out the glasses, they got caught by the Doctor. And that's when we see the Doctor and Martha, and we see them interact with the plant for the first time. So the doctor is giving this plant this talk about how he's been travelling all the way across the universe. He's been tracking him down. But while this is happening, the plant doesn't seem concerned. And the Doctor's like, right, what are you doing? Why are you not terrified by my incredible speech about how I'm gonna thrash you? And it turns out that the plant has Martha in its grasp, and it's going to eat her. And it's gonna, there's a song called Feed Me, I think. Feed Me, get it. I don't remember. I don't really exactly know. But yes, so Martha is in the grasps of the plant. But we needn't worry, because this is all part of the Doctor and Martha's plan. Because Martha has actually got poison in her hands. And as she gets close, she feeds the plant poison and it dies. And they all lived happily ever after, in a much happier ending than getting buttons sewn into your eyes.
I find yours like absolutely terrific. I actually want to watch that.
Oh, why are you referring to it as mine? Do you mean the episode that I discovered on the internet, yes.
Yes, that exactly. I do apologise.
After months of research into this, of course.
And there we have it, guys. That is our Doctor Who crossovers that didn't end up getting made. I want to say a massive thank you for Elise collaborating with us today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and also join my Discord server because it's a really nice place.
Yes, you should.
I'll see you guys later. Bye.